the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Houston Oilers and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Appreciate you, Coach. Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and, of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Oilers and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'2 quarterback who was a 4th-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. Won the ball game, bottom line. May not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Mike, 55. They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Throwing is Cousins, and that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
It's been quite the evolution for Stephon Diggs because when he came out of high school, many thought he was the top prospect going into college football. Didn't have quite the career that was expected and actually got drafted lower than what many people thought. But, boy, is he playing to a top level now while he's in Minnesota.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
They didn't get the 1st down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the 1st. On 4th down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. As we take a peek at their versatile quarterback, the Hawaii native and former Oregon Duck, Marcus Mariota.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Now the first carry for LaShawn McCoy. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. And we roll now on the graphics for the offensive starters.
Let's take a look at the left tackle, Taylor Lewan. A big, gregarious guy with great athletic ability. Plays the game with a little bit of an edge. In fact, he doesn't play to the whistle. He plays to the echo of the whistle.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
Check nine. One.
To throw is Mariota. That's complete to Taywan Taylor. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
And it's 3rd down. 59. Get the ball.
Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Mariota to throw it. Sets up the screen to Lewis. And I think the ball's out. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
The Vikings now heading onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak. Got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
First red zone chance now for the Vikings. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Cook. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. But keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Check. Watch 54. Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
Now on 2nd and 13. Cousins. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, mini camp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. They try again with Cook. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they're a tough unit to throw against, currently 4th toughest in the NFL.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get on a roll early. Chip away at their timing.
Just like that.
3rd and goal for Cousins. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. All right, let's discuss Dion Lewis as he gets set to go again. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. 1 carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball. Got a full game ahead of him. Hand it to him again. See if they can start to produce.
1st down, Mariota. The quick hitter complete. It's Grant. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Throwing is Mariota. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Lewis here on 1st down. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. A look at the numbers last week for Dion Lewis. 24 carries, 84 yards.
And we all know he had a big workload last week, so I'm eager to see if they decide to back him off a little bit. Personally, I hand it to him 20-plus times again. When a running back's locked in like he is, I want him to keep touching the football.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Oh, he's got it going early in this one. That's the Shady McCoy. That's vintage right there, right? Breaking tackles, creating explosive runs. And if they don't take care of this early, look out. This guy's going to have a big, big day.
You know where he got that nickname Shady, by the way?
I know you're going to educate me on it. Help me out.
Mama gave him that name when he was a youngster.
And if Mama named him Shady, we're going to call him Shady.
Absolutely. Mariota now to throw on 1st down. He'll set up the screen to McCoy. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Mariota now. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
This will be their first trip to the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19. Shotgun handoff for Lewis. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Mariota to throw it this time. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Let's go, let's go.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Ndamukong Suh in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. They run the counter with Cook. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. The tackle is made by Adoree Jackson.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Well, as an offense, some drives you have it, some drives you don't. And this one looks like a you don't.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it was 3rd and long. It was screaming for a pass. I think they tried to outguess him there with the running play. They didn't fool him at all.
Went in the wrong direction. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here comes Grant on the return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Mariota. And he locates Walker, complete. And he lost the football, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. If ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Mariota now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Out of the shotgun, it's McCoy. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial...
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
The competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit... their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
This offense so far on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Working out of the gun, Mariota. And complete to the tight end Walker, right side. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open. He finds a way to pick up a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And a quick throw here, that's complete. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Yeah, let's get second.
Mariota now on 2nd down, and Walker has it. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They're 2 for 2 on third down conversions on this drive. This one tough. They need 9 yards on third down. On third down, here's McCoy. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Throwing, Cousins, wide open receiver complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make this a second down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
That's complete, right around the 8. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. The offense on third down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at third and a few inches. Cousins again. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing. For the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Again, it's Cousins. This is caught, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
You're looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
So that drive goes 8 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion. Anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota, and that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. One of his main targets, Delaney Walker, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Final play of the half here. Mariota. Quick hitch, complete. It's Taylor. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin out in the windy city of Chicago. And in the second quarter, it's the Bears who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for Mitchell Trubisky. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And they've got the lead in their matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sam Darnold has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, let's get down to Houston. Check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions. Some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense. But when you turn it over, it changes momentum. And when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
To throw Mariota, and that will be incomplete. It appears they're going to come up empty on this first drive of the second half, still down by that slim margin.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, when you sit and analyze it, they're not happy about what happened, having to go to the bench. But this gives them a chance to let their defense do some work while they on the sidelines go over what they're doing offensively and formulate a proper plan.
It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The sack by Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and it's third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Harold Landry able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. It felt like he was in the pocket all day, never got rid of it.
And when you have that much time, you've got to either find someone open or get rid of it, because with that amount of time to throw the ball, that means the offensive line's done a really nice job.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Returnable for Grant. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 2nd down, Cook. They follow up the 1st down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And he finds Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. A 1st down throw for Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
From the 27, Cousins over the middle, the catch made by Mitchell. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On the handoff, it's Madison. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him 4 on the carry there. It's 2nd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
2nd and goal from the 1. Here's Cousins. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Marr now to add the extra point. It's good, and now it's an 11-point lead, 17-6. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it's polished off by a Viking score. To kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Minnesota defense, we watch them get set to roll. They recovered the fumble last time. 3 turnovers for them in this game. They've been, that word opportunistic comes to mind, right?
Exactly right. And you know guys on defense, they say the turnovers. The offensive guys call them turnovers. We call them takeaways. We go get them. And that's exactly what they've done in this game.
The former DB making sure you know their takeaways on the defense.
Takeaways, man.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Now, that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Now here's a throw, and that's Taywan Taylor with it. Touchdown, Houston. Taywan Taylor, his 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys are able to make this a close game again.
So what did you say earlier, my man? You said one big play away from getting back in this game. And guess what? There it was.
Yeah, we talked about it, that despite the scoreline, they were that close on the road, and boom, there you go.
Well done, Nostradamus.
Up to the line, Mariota. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll throw again. Mariota. And he'll get in for the 2 points. And that'll cut the deficit down to just a field goal. Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Now, they've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Cousins to throw it. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter of play, with the score Vikings 17, Oilers 14.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Throwing is Cousins. Smith catches left side. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Cousins over the middle here to Rudolph. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. But it's going to be 2nd down. How good has he been throwing the football, though? And despite that incompletion, that's just the 3rd time he's been off target this entire game.
And Brandon, I've been on the other side of this equation, trying to defend a guy who's been this hot, and it chips away at your confidence. And when you're not confident when you're trying to defend, it makes you slower to the football, and it leads to more completions for them.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. Touchdown, Vikings! Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Marr on for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. A 2-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant. And that'll bring up second down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one. I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play, because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. They'll set up the screen to McCoy. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Brett Kern now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Good move at the 30. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
Now Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 16. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The fourth down pass play doesn't work out. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people...
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll make this a three-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
We've seen this a few times in this game. That offensive line just, I don't know if you want to call it out physical, out tough, whatever you want to use.
And what people do when that is happening, when they're getting dominated that way, they spread things out a little bit, make it more of a space game, and allow your skill position players to make a few plays out in open field. Take away the physical element, gives you a chance.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's McCoy. And McCoy loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Dobbs. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And out now come the Vikings. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You
don't deserve anything for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
He'll get 2 yards back, but it's going to leave him with a long 3rd and 13.
3rd down and 13.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Vikings, they move back over 500 now at 6-5. And they'll get another home date next week as the Packers will come to town. Meanwhile, for our visitors, it's starting to look like it won't be their year as they drop to 5-6. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.